in this draft? Would they go there? So we thought we'd play a game today called To QB or Not to QB, based on there are 5 to 6 quarterbacks. Everybody said could be first rounders. We have this emerging culture in the NFL where quarterbacks come out of college to the NFL and they're almost all working really quickly. So let's play To QB or Not to QB. Here we go.
To QB or not QB? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind of Cowherd.
All right, the first pick, the New York Jets. QB or not to QB?
I would to QB. Trevor Lawrence is a sensational all-time top 10 prospect. Sam Darnold is averaging 13 points a game, can't stay healthy. I like Sam Darnold, but sometimes in life, everybody needs a reboot. And so I say, get a quarterback, get Trevor Lawrence.
To QB, I agree.
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's kind of an easy one.
This is probably also an easy one. The second pick, the Jags.
To QB. So Gardner Minshew is a backup. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the end, they just fired their GM. They'll probably fire their coach. So let's just clean house. Justin Fields.
Yeah, we thought for a second Minshew could make it happen, but no.
That's second in it.
All right, the third pick, the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is an easy one. Not to QB. They need a tackle. The best tackle in several years is available. Joey Burrow's good. He'll come back. So that's an easy one.
Agreed. To QB.
Yeah.
This one, it gets interesting. With the fourth pick, the Dallas Cowboys.
Now, I know this is not going to happen, but I would say to QB. So Dak Prescott's going to be owned if they franchise tag him. Let me look up the number. $38 million. Okay, this is a roster that is top-heavy. I'm paying Amari Cooper. I'm paying $38 million. Or I can draft a Zach Wilson and trade Dak. Somebody will take Dak. Dak's going to get signed by somebody. This one, to me, I know it's not going to happen, but $38 million for Dak is a load, and I'm not comfortable paying that.
Is someone else going to pay him that for 1 year? Because that's what it would have to be if you trade him, unless they signed a deal beforehand.
I
would say not to QB. I'm sticking with Dak for another year.
Another easy one. Fifth pick, the Los Angeles Chargers. QB or not to QB?
I would not be surprised that they would trade down. So not to QB. That's an easy one.
Yes, agreed.
All right, here's where it gets interesting. With the sixth pick right now, the Philadelphia Eagles. QB or not to QB?
It's not interesting. He's been sacked 46 times. Once again, I don't even know if it's the strength and conditioning. Can anybody stay healthy on offense? They're not drafting a quarterback. Not to QB.
Not to QB. They have massive injuries, and something's going on with Peterson, the offensive system, and he's been sacked a lot.
With the seventh pick, the Carolina Panthers.
So this is the perfect situation to quarterback. I have 2 more years of Teddy Bridgewater. I like Teddy, but he's like Alex Smith. He's a grown-up. He'll be an amazing mentor. I can go get a Trey Lance out of North Dakota. I don't want to make him play in the NFL. Teddy, for 2 years, does an Alex Smith. He probably gets us a wild card berth. This is the perfect situation in the NFL. You have a good B quarterback and a good dude, Teddy Bridgewater, and an offensive coach. Probably a little more sophisticated offensive system than most teams. I draft a BYU quarterback, and he sits for 2 years. I love, by the way, last year's draft, they went all defense, and they hit some home runs. I love Carolina that hasn't taken a quarterback first round since Cam Newton. I love Carolina taking a quarterback.
I would say not to QB. If you're not 100% sure, you keep building around Teddy for a couple more years.
Eighth pick, Washington, QB or not to QB?
I think you QB. Dwayne Haskins didn't get much of a shot, but he's 3-8 and clearly inside the building they're not into him, so I'd QB it.
Yeah, to QB.
How about the Lions at number 9?
Well, they're going to have a new GM and a new head coach. I got to be honest with you. This is a real hard one. You know, Matt Stafford hasn't told me if he wants to stay. I think you're better starting from scratch, blowing him out, and drafting a quarterback. And Matt Stafford can absolutely get you a second-round pick. I think I start over and draft a quarterback.
I think they probably should, but it's the Lions, so they're not, and they're forever going to be with Matt Stafford, so I'm going to say not to QB.
How about the team that is the Bermuda Triangle for your wallet, the Atlanta Falcons?
I would absolutely draft a QB. I would play. You're going to pay Matt Ryan for 2 more. This is Carolina. So right now, Matt Ryan's the 10th highest paid quarterback and playing at about the 17th best quarterback level. You draft a guy 2 years. Again, they have players. This is what you want. You want a guy like Matt Ryan, who's a grown-up, that a young guy can come in and watch Matt Ryan, a total consummate pro for 2 years. And then, by the way, in 2 years, Matt will get an offer somewhere, and I have my franchise quarterback.
I think not to QB. 2 years is too long. They're pumping out quarterbacks like this. 1 year of sitting, I get.
All right, last one, because this one is interesting for one of you. The Dolphins at number 11 via the Texans.
It's really hard. Okay, so I'm going to go with this. And I thought a lot about this. Not to QB. Because I do believe Brian Flores believes my defense, the quarterback that fits my DNA, accurate, very few picks. That is Tua. So even if I have some misgivings, he's already been benched and hurt. There'll be 4 more quarterbacks next year. I don't think